a base steel taco. Free delivery taco, November 1st, 2 to 6 p.m.
Yes!
Jesus. He's like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get this out of the way first inning.
Yep. Anyways, sorry, Dan O'Shea. I think he's doing very well. I think what he's got around him is helping him grow and develop a lot better than it would if he were in, like, Houston.
Yeah, oh my God. Deshaun Watson, I feel horrible for him.
I mean,
he's fast.
That being said, you guys, like, it's got to give you some kind of hope. Because, I mean, kind of like what I was saying with Buffalo, I mean, he seems a little bit more polished, but he's still going to have to work out the kinks. But it clearly appears that as he grows into this role, the Jets have found the quarterback they've been looking desperately for years.
The only thing that I worry about is this is exactly how Jets fans and pundits felt about Mark Sanchez.
At this point, as a Giants fan, I'm asking them to go across the hallway and see what's up with Teddy Bridgewater.
he's in New Orleans now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So you just sent Apple there.
Yeah.
Someone's picking up the phone.
Yeah.
I do agree that a lot of fans were just as hyped about Sanchez, but the stats are different. Darnold's stats so far in the season are a lot better than Sanchez's were.
Yeah, and Darnold's not mentally challenged like Sanchez.
And he's passing the eye test right now to me. You know, yeah, he does have those boneheaded mistakes, but he's a rookie. This is exactly what I expected from him, and I'm seeing progress week to week. He's the future looks bright for him. That being said, though, I do think it's time to move on from Todd Bowles. I don't know who the Jets might go for, but I'm thinking someone, with an offensive mindset to really kind of help groom Darnold.
We'll give you Jason
keep
Garrett.
Josh McCown as a quarterback or coach, whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point in that matter. Just because if you get an offensive line, you do have a situation where you have your wide receivers are pretty solid actually between Enunwa and Robbie Anderson. I mean, you could probably your back situation is a nice combo. You get an offensive line and an offensive mind. That defense itself is already pretty built to be what it's going to be anyway.
Oh God, Jamal Adams is so good.
Yeah, well,
he's so good.
Yeah, I mean,
we just need a pass rush and a cornerback on D. Defense is looking pretty polished.
I wouldn't say they're Super Bowl level, but they're definitely deep playoff level.
Yeah,
on defense, yeah. From offense,
yeah.
Not even close.
No, not even college football playoff.
But the offense just needs time. It just needs time, and it needs to be able to become a more well-oiled machine and let Darnold really grow comfortable into his role. That's what they need right now. And like every other New York team, they need a line.
Yeah. So I think the Jets are in an okay spot. A team that's not is your New York Giants.
No.
Tony, Giants offense is atrocious. And last night, Eli Manning wasn't terrible. Saquon Barkley was contained. Again, he's a rookie. Like, I don't have too high of expectations for rookies.
I mean,
no matter how,
but he's still making plays that still make you see where the potential is. Some of the things that he does are just insane. Did you happen to see the pass where he got thrown over his head?
Yeah.
He caught it from Eli, fell down, spun up, and while standing up and spinning up, made somebody else miss? Like, his potential is evident every single week in and week out. Eli wasn't terrible, and the defense actually wasn't bad either, because the defense held an Atlanta team that can put points on everybody to 23. And we're including over 50-yard field goals at that point. By the way, the Giants have been fucked twice this year on over 50-yard field goals.
And
twice.
The kicker was just signed this week.
Yeah, I know. Tavecchio, he was on.
Yes.
He was in Oakland before this.
Yeah.
So the Giants actually aren't as damaged as they appear. It looks like the offensive game plan is starting to come into picture, and people are starting to actually look like they understand it, and the defense is trying to shore up their things. But the problem is you can't overlook the gaping holes. And the gaping holes are the fact that Giants give up too many big plays that can change games, which they did to a guy that I didn't even know that existed in Hill yesterday. And they also have too much of a problem on the offensive line. You can't be sacked that many times. Eli still had a decent game for being sacked, I think, 6 or 7 times, which can't happen, especially to an Atlanta defense
which is
depleted.
Average at best.
Well, it's depleted. They're injured all over the
Yeah,
place.
Keanu Neal is fantastic.
Right, but the
Vic
defense,
Beasley's good. Tack
the
McKinley's
defense
good.
doesn't look terrible. It looks like it's starting to shore things up. The team as a whole seems like they're starting to get the concepts, but getting the concepts doesn't change the fact that there are still massive areas that will cause you to lose games. Like, you need to be able to have a good enough team in the NFL to win close games, because close games are going to determine what either makes the playoffs or what doesn't. And when you have too many holes that you are losing games by field goals, that's not good enough. You need to shore up these problems, and they're just... I don't know how many times you can continue to see it and nothing gets done.
In my opinion, there are 3 big holes with the Giants. The first is pass rush. Losing Jason Pierre-Paul was a lot worse than I thought it would be.
Right, but I actually saw a pass rush last night with Vernon coming back.
Surprised. I was
But
very
Vernon
surprised.
is our pass rusher.
He is,
That's
yes.
why he's there.
He is. The second big hole, obviously, offensive line. The third big hole is Odell Beckham's mouth.
Yeah, but 100% agree with you. Yes, just shut up. Just shut up. I don't pay you to talk. This isn't Good Morning America. You're not Strahan yet. Shut the fuck up and catch footballs.
Yeah.
That's all I need you to do. And you know what? Yesterday, he caught fucking footballs and had over 150 yards receiving. Look what happens when you just keep your fucking mouth shut and you don't go on the morning edition of Sunday NFL Morning with Lil Wayne for some reason no one can still figure out. I'm assuming it was because he was the intro song last night. I have no idea, though.
The note that I have, individually well done. Eli played well. Sterling Shepard played really well. I think Sterling Shepard playing well opened up Odell Beckham because Odell was covered immense. Once Sterling Shepard had those 2 big catches, then you saw the safety spy Shepard and now had the difficult task of spying Shepard while still covering Odell. You can't do that.
Well, I also think that it helped to have Ingram back, too. Because Ingram adds another element where...
he didn't do anything.
Well, I mean, he had a few catches, but he was targeted. And he's still a guy that goes down the middle that keeps the linebackers there and doesn't allow them to drift into the slant lanes, which is where Odell Beckham eats.
Is dangerous.
He eats and he can get down through.
He doesn't like it, but he does.
If they can't drift into those areas and one of them has to stay on Ingram, it makes a huge difference in the passing lane because even Shepard was getting through those lanes. And
I think that's where they should put Shepard. Shepard would be a crazy slot receiver.
Yeah, and I mean he could, but right now he has to be at a number 2 right now until something else has been.
Problem is he's their deep threat.
He's a bigger guy. Yeah, that's what gives him the advantage. Again, the offense finally looked like it was using its weapons and utilizing the offensive playbook when they could. But when they could was not often enough because there was too many holds, too many sacks, too many times that Eli's trying to rush the ball out and he's either throwing it low because he doesn't want it intercepted or just trying to put it in the vicinity where it's not going to be intentional grounding. Yeah. And he can't. And even times where it looked like he had an extra second, he looked like he was rushing the pass out because he thought he was going to get hit. Yeah, it's come down to a paranoia thing with him, and I don't think you can fix that. I think that's not being to be fixed, even if the offensive line was better, because he spent the last 3 years thinking this way.
I've been someone who's been thinking, Like, he just needs to go to the right team, and then he could be okay enough. He's done.
Maybe
his psyche is so far beyond killed.
Maybe that's the case, but it does look like the last 3 years have taken its toll on him.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, hold him. If you're going to trade him, get something out of it. I mean, really get something. If you could work out a deal with the Raiders because they're trying to get rid of it, I would take Carr. I really would take Carr in a second. You give Carr, you put him there, at least we can shore up the defensive line. We don't have to draft a quarterback next year. And Carr will have weapons that he can use.
Yeah, I think...
Plus, his brother was here and already won a Super Bowl here anyway.
I have
been on the bench, but that doesn't matter.
I have my issues with Carr, too. He's also someone that's looked quite timid since being injured. Understandably so. I'm not criticizing him.
Well, yeah, but he's also in a situation where his line's falling apart. They have 2 rookie tackles on either side. That's not the situation you want.
No.
So if I was him, I'd be terrified too.
Yeah.
You go stand out in the freeway.
I mean, not everyone, gets lucky like, shit, we got to put this rookie tackle named Joe Thomas in. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
But I mean, both of them being scared. You run across the Northway. Frogger it. We'll see how well you feel.
Yeah. Not going to happen. Anyways.
Because, they're not the size of cars, but, these humans are rather large.
Basically. Yeah.
Basically.
So, my notes from the Giants game, individually, a lot of them did really well. As a whole, they still look pretty pathetic. That's where the issue with the Giants was evident last night in the fact that they're a fractured team. They're not a team. They're individuals trying to do their job. There's no cohesion to their offense. And
well, okay.
I would say yes to the offense. The defense looks pretty decent.
Yeah, they're getting back to where they were, but there's also that split between defense and offense.
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
But I also think that game plan for the offense. This is the first time that it looks like the game plan actually seemed to work when they had the time to get the players going. So I think it looks like everyone's out there to get theirs because there's just a lot of stars that are there and a lot of names that can and are able to put up numbers. But this was the first time that the offense looked like it spread the wealth. Odell Beckham went over 100. Sterling Shepard went over 100. Saquon got his numbers from total yards from the line of scrimmage. Punched it in for a touchdown. Odell Beckham should have caught that 2-point conversion. Play calling questionable from the coach, but I don't know that it's necessarily entirely Shermer's fault because he's trying to get these people to understand a new offense. And could it have been done differently? Yes. But at this point, you're 1-5. You know what? We just need to get some confidence that this offense works.
Blow that shit up.
Well, maybe, yeah, but I'm not willing to blow up the pieces that I have entirely. I'm just not willing to do that. I need offensive linemen, and I need to see if I can trade and get somebody that's going to fill in for Eli and be when he's done, which would probably be after this year. I would be doing that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch your knee. There are players on the Giants that I think you'd be smart to trade away before they just leave, or that are sucking up money that are kind of useless. Get rid of Eli. Get rid of Rhett Ellison. I mean, you got Evan Ingram. Rhett Ellison is a capable tight end. Try and trade him to a team that needs one.
Yeah. I mean, there are things that can be traded away to try and shore up other parts that are needed. I'm not arguing with
Vernon
that.
Especially
Snacks. Where this is. At this point, my hope for the season, I just want the offense to start operating in a way that I can see what the game plan is for the future and the defense becoming more of a solid unit.
I want to see, this just being a football fan, I want to see a quarterback who's like cocky and outspoken walk into the locker room and be like, I'm the new guy. Odell, shut the fuck up. Sterling Shepard, you just have your hands ready because I'm going to get you the ball. Evan Ingram, we need you to block better. Someone that just like goes and says, this is what you're going to do, and you're going to like it because I'm the leader of this fucking team.
Yeah, I mean...
That's what Odell needs. That's what the Giants need.
Probably. They probably need a more demanding force. I don't know. That's where my expectations are set for this year. That being said, I didn't come in here thinking I had these expectations like, oh, it's win now. We got to win the Super Bowl. Shut the fuck up.